Well, how's it going out there, guys and gals in sports land? This is JPC, your sports cowboy. And as always, give me a like, share, and a subscribe on this channel, JPC Sports, so I can continue to yuck it up with you guys maybe once or twice a week. Let's get right into it. A hot topic a couple of months ago was Scott Cochran leaving the University of Alabama. Everybody thought it was a big blow to Alabama and maybe another sign that maybe this dynasty of Alabama's was finally coming to an end. Well, today, and this has been rumbled for a while, and it's something that I had suspected myself. I'm not trying to say I was a psychic or anything, but I tried to tell everybody that this wasn't all Scott Cochran. This wasn't that a big as a blow to Nick Saban as everybody thought that it might be. Now, for the University of Alabama fan base and a lot of people out there that liked Scott Cochran's antics and his celebrity persona character, it was a big blow to them. But come to find out today, Nick Saban had a little press conference the other day. Basically, Nick Saban said that this was something that was coming down the pipe anyway, that him and Scott already talked about it. And that's why Scott was sort of encouraged in a way to go ahead and find another opportunity. So basically, Nick Saban honestly threw him under the bus a little bit, maybe outed him a little bit. I guess because people kept needling him about it, and sooner or later, if you keep needling Nick Saban, he's just going to come out with the blunt truth. And people don't really like that sometimes, but that's just the way he is. Scott Cochran to Nick Saban, while the character was cute and all, it had run its course for Nick Saban. And Nick Saban and Alabama, and a lot of people were questioning for the last couple of years why the University of Alabama's players seem to be more injury prone than other universities. The last 2 years have been epic as far as injuries go. So basically what Nick Saban was saying, I hate to keep using that word, but basically what Nick Saban was saying was that Scott's ways and his antics and his techniques and his methods of training players had become sort of antiquated, a little outdated, especially with the way the offenses are these days. The offense is in the modern times right now is more up tempo, not really fun and gun, but more up tempo. I mean, there's a lot of running, but there's also a lot of passing. But the big difference is there's not really any huddles. There's a lot of offenses that have no huddle. And so the defenses don't get to really rest, and neither do the offenses. So these players are constantly going. And Scott's techniques and methods were basically based on an Alabama offense that used to bludgeon people. Now, we did pass the ball. 40 to 50% of the time, people didn't realize that, but we did pass the ball quite a bit, but not like we do now. We was more of a bludgeoning offense under the early years of Scott Cochran, and to Nick Saban, his ways were a little antiquated. These offenses now that are up tempo require a different kind of strength and conditioning. They require a different technique. And to Nick Saban, Scott just wasn't getting that. He had fallen behind somewhat from what I gathered from Nick Saban. And these guys that he brought in from Indiana, they had the cutting edge of technology and scientific means and just a way that Nick Saban really appreciated to the point where he wanted that. And so, in a roundabout way, Nick Saban probably sort of nudged Scott Cochran to go ahead and take that opportunity. So once again, Kirby Smart, thinking he's gotten out ahead of Nick Saban like his 4th and 11 punt, may have backfired on him a little bit. Or it could be best for both parties. This could work out great for Scott, and it could work out great for Nick too, because Nick wanted to move on to something more high-tech and something more updated, especially with the way today's offenses are. So he brings in David Ballou and the other guy, Dr. Matt Ray, brought him as a combo. And basically told Scott, say, hey, look, this is the way we're going to start doing things. We're going to have a different kind of strength and conditioning and a different kind of technique with the way offenses are dictating and the defenses are basically constantly on their heels with these up-tempo offenses. We're going to have a different way and a different approach where our players are conditioned in a different way so that their bodies aren't put in harm's way and you have all these injuries. Because Nick Saban sort of touched on something like this about 3 or 4 years ago when we were going to these up-tempo offenses. He said, that's the way y'all want to do it, that's fine, but I worry about the player safety. And what do you know? What would you have it that Alabama, sure enough, last 2 years, injuries just out the wazoo, especially at the linebacker position there a couple of years ago. I mean, it was ridiculous. And it just can't just fall back to the fact of bad luck. It has something to do with your strength and conditioning. If you're strengthened and conditioned to be a bludgeoning type offense and methodical, your body's not going to hold up as well in a up-tempo type game. And most games are going to be up-tempo nowadays. As much as a lot of the purists hate it, that's the way it is now. And Nick Saban saw that and said, look, I'm tired of my players being banged up and injured and their bodies not really being prepared for these kind of contests, especially late in the year. So Nick Saban, in my opinion, just sort of gave him a friendly nudge and said, hey, unless you can go out and learn these kind of things, these scientific measures and have the high technology that some of these guys have, me and you probably need to go in a separate direction. And I think Scott's seen the writing on the wall, and he took the first ticket out that he could get. And once again, like I said, Kirby Smart and his gleefully spastic manner, as he always does, trying to get one up on Nick Saban, he took it. He took it in hopes that maybe this would be the edge that he could use to get over on Saban. When in reality, Nick Saban was ready to part ways. At least that's what Nick Saban said. So you guys tell me what you think about it. Drop it in the comment section and let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that Scott was sort of nudged out, if he was sort of encouraged to leave. Because Nick Saban doesn't seem too upset about it, if you ask me. And with that, I guess I'm going to get out of here and let you guys go. And like I said, give me a like and a subscribe. Share it. Let everybody know about it. JPC Sports on YouTube. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. And as always, KMCA to all your teams.